Hey guys, I'm Alfred Spot and welcome to week 32 of the Premier League review. If you're new to the series, what we do is take a look at the past set Premier League results, we take a look at the Premier League table and finish off by looking at the top goal scorers. So here is the past set of Premier League results. These games were played on Saturday the 31st of March and Sunday the 1st of April 2018. Also next to the games are the times in this video, so if you want to hear about a specific match, just go to the time next to the game and you'll skip out all the other crap. But without further ado, let's get into our first match. We start with Everton versus Manchester City. Man City took the lead in the 4th minute when Leroy Sané got the goal. It came as Emerick Laporte slipped the ball through to David Silva in the box and the Spaniard lifted it into the middle where Leroy Sané was waiting for it. The German watched it drop, caught it flush on the volley and put it in the bottom corner. And Man City doubled their lead 5 minutes later when Gabriel Jesus made it 2-0. Kevin De Bruyne with a typical Kevin De Bruyne pass as he put an inch perfect cross into the middle and the young Brazilian met it with his head and nodded home. And Man City made it 3-0 in the 37th minute when Raheem Sterling found the net. Absolutely nobody picking up David Silva, and he had far too much time and space on the ball to pick his pass. He slid it into the middle for Sterling, who calmly slotted home. But Everton got to go back in the 63rd minute when Yannick Bolasie got a goal out of nowhere. The winger stepped onto his right foot, finding a little bit of space between Kyle Walker, and he drove it home from outside the box into the bottom corner. And that's how the game ended. Really dominant performance from the league leaders, who really shouldn't have conceded, as Everton were hardly in this game and scored out of nowhere. And it's now all come down to this. Next Saturday, 5:30, Manchester City versus Manchester United. If Man City win, they will be crowned Premier League champions. But back to this game anyway. Man City were all over the Toffees and picked up a comfortable win. And we went to Chelsea versus Tottenham. Chelsea took the lead in the half-hour mark when Alvaro Morata got the goal. Been a while since I've said that. Chelsea were being pinned back for most of the half, but one chance and they took it when Victor Moses put a ball into the middle. Hugo Lloris comes out to collect, but he completely misses it and it fell to Morata, who nodded home. But Tottenham leveled the game up on the brink of half-time when Christian Eriksen scored a wonder strike. It came out of absolutely nowhere as the chance was basically given to him on a silver platter by Victor Moses, and the Dane took a touch before striking a shot that went up, dipped back down and landed in the top corner. And Spurs took the lead 15 minutes into the second half when Dele Alli put it home. It came from a lovely over-the-top ball from Eric Dyer, and Ali's first touch is delightful. He has all the time in the world, and without breaking stride, he dinked it past the keeper and into the back of the net. And Tottenham doubled their lead 5 minutes when Dele Alli got his second and Spurs' third. Son Heung-min raced into the box. His initial effort was saved by the keeper. He does have a man free in the middle, but for some reason decided to take another shot, and that was blocked again. But the ball fell loose to Dele Alli. He picked it up and slotted home. And as the game ended, a big win for Tottenham, as not only did they go 8 points clear of Chelsea, they also ended a horrible record at Stamford Bridge, as this was their first win at Chelsea's home since 1990. Chelsea were pretty much dominated the second half as Spurs had them in their own half for most of the last 45, as the Dele Alli brace pretty much wraps up the top 4 race. And we went to Arsenal versus Stoke. Horrible first half, hardly any chances for either team, and neither of them being able to string 2 passes together, but the game did liven up in the final quarter of the match, and it started in the 75th minute when Arsenal got the perfect chance to take the lead when they were given a penalty. Very soft penalty for me as Bruno Mars Indy comes over, does clear the ball, but he also does make contact with Mesut Ozil, who goes down, and the ref decided to give the spot kick. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang stepped up to take it, and he put his penalty into the bottom right corner and put Arsenal ahead. And Arsenal doubled their lead 10 minutes later when Pierre Aubameyang got his and Arsenal's second. It came from a corner that Mesut Ozil whipped into the box from the right hand side, and Callum Chambers flicked it onto the near post, and the Gabonese striker was unmarked on the edge of the 6-yard box, and he drilled his effort low past Jack Butland. And Arsenal were ordered a second penalty 2 minutes later when Badou and Ndiaye clattered into the back of Alexandre Lacazette, and the ref pointed to the spot for the second time in the match. Despite Aubameyang being on a hat-trick, Lacazette stepped up to take this one, and he put it in the exact same place as Aubameyang as he slotted his penalty home into the bottom right corner. And that's how the game ended. I feel the scoreline is a bit harsh on Stoke, as in the first half they were the better side, but that didn't take much as Arsenal were rubbish. Butland had a good game, making some decent saves, but he can't do everything. He's got to rely on his defenders to, defend. Also, why do Arsenal fans hate Stoke? Like, is this how far your club has dropped that you now consider Stoke rivals? I just don't get it, because a lot of Arsenal fans are ecstatic that they put Stoke 1 game closer to the dreaded drop. If anybody could explain that to me, I'd appreciate that. And we went to West Ham versus Southampton. West Ham took a vital lead in this match in the 30th minute when João Mario got the goal. Southampton were actually on the attack, but they cheaply lost the ball on the edge of the West Ham box, and the Irons launched a counter-attack as Mark Noble set Chetu Kiata free on the right-hand side. He cut the ball back to João Mario on the edge of the box, who took the touch before smashing the ball into the net. And West Ham doubled their lead 5 minutes later when Marko Arnautovic made it 2-0. Abysmal defender from Southampton, as absolutely no one is picking up the Austrian as he met a João Mario cross with a header. It was well saved by McCarthy, but he got the rebound and slammed it home. And West Ham pretty much had the game won in the first half when they made it 3-0 on the brink of half-time as Marko Arnautovic got his second of the match. Brilliant finish from the Austrian as Arthur Masuaku put a cross into the box, and Arnautovic does well to sweep it home on the volley. And as the game ended, Southampton were extremely poor in this match. West Ham were better in every department of the pitch, and unlike last time at the London London Stadium, they seemed up for it and didn't make their fans want to kill them. West Ham took a big step towards saving themselves, but it's not over yet as they've still got Chelsea, Arsenal and Man City to come. And as for Southampton, it's looking more and more likely that they could be down. But as I always say, it is so tight down there, and Southampton do have a decent run of games still to come. Like West Ham, they've got to play Arsenal and City, but they do have some games that they will fancy themselves in, and a huge 6-pointer with Swansea still to come, so there's still some hope at the South Coast. And we went to Watford versus Bournemouth. Watford took lead in the 13th minute when kickoff Firmino got the goal. It came from a corner that was taken short by Roberto Pereira and was whipped in by Jose Holebas. It found Firmino on the edge of the box, who caught it on the half volley, and it flew into the net thanks to a little deflection. But Bournemouth got the perfect chance to level the game 5 minutes from half time when they were given a penalty. Blatant handball by Jose Holebas at the back post, and the ref pointed to the spot. Joshua King stepped up to take it, and he sent the keeper the wrong way and rolled the penalty home. But Watford retook the lead 3 minutes in the second half when Roberto Pereira got the goal. Really poor defending from Bournemouth, as Troy Deeney did well down the wing. He gave it to Will Hughes, who dances around some defenders before laying it off to Pereira, who kind of scuffed his shot, but it still wormed its way into the far corner. And it looked like it was going to end with a Watford win, but with the last chance of the game, Bournemouth levelled the game up when Jermaine Defoe got a 92nd minute equaliser. Route 1 stuff as a free kick was pumped into the Watford box from the Bournemouth half. Nathan Arger headed it down, and there was Jermaine Defoe to bag his first ever goal against Watford. And that's how the game ended. A great match this one. 4 goals, possibly the most bizarre penalty ever. Watford did deserve more than a draw, but 2 sloppy goals conceded, especially the penalty. I just don't understand why Jose Holebas handballed it. He was going to get to the ball before Jordan Ibe, but for some reason he punched the ball against Ibe. Initially I thought he headed it, but somehow the ref and the assistant spotted that, and I do applaud them for spotting that. Like I said, Watford did deserve to win, but the heart of Bournemouth do it again as they snatch a point at the depth. And we went to Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. Crystal Palace got the perfect chance to take lead in the 13th minute when they were awarded a penalty. Correct call as a goal kick was sent forward. The flick on was won by Benteke and Zaha raced through. Karius came out to get the ball, but Zaha poked it past and Karius collided with the winger and the ref pointed to the spot. Luka Milivojevic stepped up to take it and he sent Karius the wrong way and smashed his penalty into the opposite bottom corner. But Liverpool levelled the game up 5 minutes in the second half when Sadio Mane got the goal. The Senegalese winger had an eventful first half, which I'll talk about at the end. James Milner fizzed a low ball into the box and Mane was at the near post and swept it home. And Liverpool won the game in the 83rd minute when Mo Salah got his 29th league goal of the season. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain did well down the right hand side to not lose the ball. He whipped the ball in towards Andy Robertson at the back post. I think everyone expected him to hit the volley on goal, but he instead tapped it down to Salah. He took a touch before firing it back across the keeper and into the back of the net. And the game ended a great win, and I always say this, it's just better to come from behind to win, isn't it? Now, on to Sadio Mane's first half. I've been called a plastic fan because of my thoughts on Mane's first half. I had an altercation on Twitter where another fan was saying that Palace had bought the refs, and I came in with, the ref had a good game. The Mane dive, the offside call, and Palace's penalty. All 3, he got spot on. On about the dive, just piss off Sadio. Lost a bit of respect for you there. You did get touched, but you didn't go down straight away. You waited a second or 2 before going down. If you went down instantly, then it's a penalty, but the fact that you waited 1 or 2 seconds, you looked up, you saw that there was nothing on, or I'll go down now, it's just not needed. There's no need for it. But anyway, for possibly the first time ever, Christian Benteke didn't score a Premier League goal against Liverpool, as Mohamed Salah's late winner got the win for the travelling cop. And we went to West Brom versus Burnley. Burnley took the lead in the 22nd minute when Ashley Barnes brilliantly put the visitors ahead. It came as Aaron Lennon stood across up in the box, and it forced Ashley Barnes, who acrobatically volleyed his effort past a rooted Ben Foster. And Burnley doubled their lead in the 73rd minute when Chris Wood got the goal. Route 1 stuff as a goal kick by Pope was sent forward and landed at the feet of Matthew Lawton. He threaded the ball through to Chris Wood, and the New Zealander cut inside, took a shot that was saved by Ben Foster, but the ball looped up in the air and Wood reacted quickest to head home from close range. But West Brom got to go back in the 84th minute through Salomon Rondon. Johnny Evans played a pass from the right hand side that wasn't quite dealt with by the Burnley defence, and Rondon reacted quickest and lashed his shot low past Nick Pope. And as the game ended, as Burnley picked up their 3rd league win in a row and condemned West Brom to a record 8th league loss in a row. It could have been more goals for Burnley, as Chris Wood had a couple of good chances he didn't convert, as their quest for Europa League football continues, and there was a good chance they may get it. And as Burnley aim for Europe and West Brom aim for, well, nothing really. They're pretty much relegated already, aren't they? Let's just call it. And we went to Manchester United versus Swansea. Man United took the lead in the 5th minute when Romelu Lukaku bagged his 100th Premier League goal. It was coming, to be fair, as Alexis Sanchez and Jesse Lingard combined to find Romelu Lukaku, and he swung his left foot at the ball and he saw his effort go past Fabianski thanks to a little deflection. And United doubled their lead 15 minutes later when Alexis Sanchez got the goal. As Lingard slipped the ball between 2 Swansea defenders for Sanchez, and the Chilean hit it low and hard from the edge of the box into the bottom corner. And that's how the game ended, a very one-sided affair this one, as Man United were all over Swansea, apart from a very brief period in the second half when De Gea pulled off some typical De Gea saves to deny Tammy Abraham. But other than that, it was a comfortable day at the office for United as they picked up the 3 points. And we went to Brighton versus Leicester. It was a very quiet first half with neither teams really being able to carve out any chances, but Brighton got the perfect chance to take the lead as they were given a penalty in the 76th minute. Jose Izquierdo went down quite theatrically under a challenge from Wilfred Ndidi, and the ref pointed to the spot. Glenn Murray stepped up to take it, but Schmeichel read it well and got down to his left and palmed it away. And Leicester would punish that penalty miss 5 minutes later when they took the lead through Vicente Iborra. Demarai Gray laid it into the path of Ben Chilwell, who sent a great cross into the box right onto Iborra's head, and the midfielder was completely unmarked as he headed into the bottom corner. But the final few minutes of the match would be a lot harder for Leicester when they were reduced to 10 men as Wilfred Ndidi was sent off. The midfielder caught Duffy as he was charging forward and he was sent off for his second red card of the season, but despite the man disadvantage, Leicester would wrap the game up in the 94th minute when Jamie Vardy made it 2-0 to the visitors. Brighton were pushing men forward and Leicester caught them out as Demarai Gray lashed onto a pass on the right hand side of the box and he fired a low ball into the far post, and Vardy had the simplest of tasks as he poked it into the back of the net. And as the game ended, it was a pretty lifeless game up until the penalty, then it suddenly sprung to life. Leicester's lead did look to be in jeopardy when Ndidi was given his marching orders, but the Foxes held on and actually extended their lead to pick up a dramatic 3 points at Brighton. And finally, we've got Newcastle versus Huddersfield. It was a pretty boring game, this one, but Newcastle were on top for most of the game, but they just couldn't make their chances count. Dwight Gale had a handful of chances that he squandered, and Huddersfield looked like they were going to frustrate the Magpies all afternoon, but Newcastle did take the lead in the 80th minute through Ayoze Perez. A cross went all the way through to Kennedy on the opposite side, and the unknown Chelsea man kept his cool to square the ball to Perez, and the Spaniard slotted home from close range. And as the game ended, Newcastle with a deserved win, but it did look like they were going to have to settle for a draw, as the goal just didn't look like it was coming. Newcastle are slowly but surely edging away from danger, now being 7 points clear of the drop zone, but Huddersfield are well and truly still in there with them sitting just 3 points above the drop. So that's all the games I got for this time. Before we go, let's take a look at the Premier League table and top goal scorers, starting off with the Premier League table. Start with top 5, and as you can see, Man City is still at the top and 1 win away from being crowned champions following their win at Everton. The team that are going to try and delay the celebration of Man United, and they're second after they beat Swansea. Liverpool are third after they came from behind to beat Crystal Palace. Tottenham are fourth after overcoming their horrible record at Stamford Bridge, and Chelsea make the top 5 after being on the other end of that result. Moving on to the bottom 5, and West Brom at the bottom following their 8th league loss in a row against Burnley. Stoke are 19th after they lost to Arsenal. Southampton make up the relegation zone after they lost at the London Stadium. Crystal Palace are 17th following their loss to Liverpool, and Huddersfield make up the bottom 5 after they lost to Newcastle. Moving on to the top goal scorers, and as you can see, Mohamed Salah is on the top. He bagged 1 against Crystal Palace. That took him to 29 goals and 9 assists. Harry Kane is second. He returned from injury this week, but he didn't score after coming off of the bench, so he stays on 24 goals and 2 assists. Sergio Aguero is third. I don't think he played at all this week. He's on 21 goals and 6 assists. Raheem Sterling got a goal against Everton. He went up to 16 goals and 7 assists. And making up top 5 is Romelu Lukaku after his 100th Premier League goal against Swansea took him to 15 goals and 7 assists for the season. Right, so that's all for this time. If you didn't drop a shot, leave a like and subscribe if you are new, and I'll be back next Tuesday for the next episode of the Premier League review. If you want to follow my personal Twitter, the link is in the description. If you want to follow us on Twitter to stay up to date about when we go live or upload a video, you can. The link to that is in the description as well, or it's at portionofsport_. If you missed last episode, that'll be popping on your screen about now, along with a link to the channel so you can subscribe. But anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to. I've been Mark from A Portion of Sport, and I will see you soon.